is Hangout on Air is live. We are live right at the moment.
Yes.
We got a few people in there waiting, it looks like. Here it comes. And we'll just, I'll put this to go live after it renders and everything too. So, hey, how's everybody doing? Handy Camper here, and we got Granny Monster with us right now. Got a few viewers here. Hey, what's going on, Mustang?
Hi, Mustang.
Doing a little coffee with the camper again, resurrecting that a little bit. Granny Monster, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I put a lot of thought into my outfit because I wanted to look super good. No, I'm just cool, bro.
Looking in the spirits of the holiday there. Got the hat on and everything. There's Dark Matter. What's going on, Dark Matter? So yeah, this is Coffee with the Camper. I've done a few little episodes of that. I've done one with Dark Matter and done a couple others. But I've been wanting to do it again and forever, but just haven't found the time and all that. But definitely want to do it some more.
Mm-hmm. Well,
yeah,
I guess I'm your guinea pig. Welcome back.
Oh, awesome! I'm glad you was able to do this. I'm really excited. Throw it on here.
Well, you know, if you're out of practice on something and you want to get back in the swing of things, I'm your gal.
Oh, yeah, let's see if I can cue the intro there. And a little screen share going on here.
Okay.
Oh crap! There he goes. Coffee with the camper.
I feel so official.
Got buttons flying up everywhere here.
Right?
All right. Yeah, Coffee with the Camper.
Okay.
And here comes another video popping up there. Whoops. Where am I at? There we are. Screen share. Guys, what's going on, big guys? That was a train wreck right there. I have to plan that one out a little bit better.
Better.
It didn't move as smooth as I thought it would there. I had all kinds of little information pop-ups pop up at the same time there. Anyway, Granny Monster, what is going on?
Season, brother. Hey, Darren. Hey, guys. But yeah, of course, my season is already over, and that was back in October. You know, because I'm more your Halloween sort, I suppose. You know, I'm not saying that I'm the Grinch or anything like that, but I think he might be my cousin.
I hear you. Well, I tell you what, this year I'm just about ready for it to be over with. To be honest with you, in a way, you know, it came so fast and the rush of everything.
Well, I think every year it comes just a tad faster. Like, it feels like, wait a minute, aren't we supposed to be buying school supplies? Why is Santa sitting over there with them pumpkins? I am confused.
It's like they push it earlier and earlier every year, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hello, Brian Toscano. Darren's Northern Life. Chuck the Love Doug, Disposable 762. What's going on, guys? We are here with Granny Monster trying a little coffee with the camper. And if anybody's watching this for the first time, the Coffee with the Camper, just like the first few times that I did it, just got some people on here talking about their channels and talking about everything that's going on. And just to have a good time. Most people know most of my live streams end up probably going on the unlisted afterwards, you know, because we're all having fun and a good time, you know. But this could be like a more of a personal or well, we can still have a good time and have fun, but something I could actually leave up on my channel.
I make no promises, but yes, there is. Well, I'll be mindful that this might be one you want to consider actually leaving. So
I'll add it to the playlist of unlisted. You know,
Right?
a tame one. Yeah, we have a good time for sure. All of us.
Yeah. So if there was one thing that it would be like, dear Handy Claus, you know, what would the one thing that Handy Camper might get for Christmas that would just be like,
That would make me super excited.
uh,
Oh, I've been wanting a MacBook forever, but those things are so expensive.
all right, right.
Yeah, I've been really wanting one of those, but
Hmm.
I'll hold off for a little while.
Well, I can tell you what I want.
What's that?
I want a date next Friday night. I'm single and I'm ready to mingle. And so just, dear Santa, I've been naughty this year. Let's go with that.
Putting it out there. Date next Friday.
Or fig. Or
Y'all pass the word around.
yeah. So, you know, you got that stocking stuffer. You got a friend for life. I'm just saying.
Granny wants a man. Dark Matter said. Well, she didn't specify. She did say date, but I'm sure.
Oh yeah, tall drink of water. I'm 4'11". I want somebody I can look up to. Okay, just putting that out there. Yeah. I've noticed you need to be real specific sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Hey, there's my roommate. She's bad every year. See.
Hey, Texas Little Star, how you doing?
But yeah.
In the park?
Well, clearly the Beatles isn't good enough for you. Why don't we do it in the road?
Oh, anywhere, yeah, heck yeah. Yes, we've been on YouTube for a little while now, and you've been like a real constant in my YouTube world. I tell you what, you're an awesome person, and I've known you for a little while on here. I mean, not too personal. We haven't really went personal, but we've talked to each other off Hangouts and on Hangouts and YouTube and different things like that. And you've been an awesome inspiration and an awesome person to turn to for advice and just to talk to. I tell you what.
Well, thank you. And clearly, you need to get out more.
I tell you, I'm a recluse. When after work, I retire. I'm done. Yeah.
Yeah, I can give you a very good example of just how much of a recluse I can truly be. My roommate is in the chat right now, and she can verify this. We had a lengthy list of errands to run this particular day, and of course, food was one of them. And we stopped at a place called CC's Pizza. And she is a social butterfly, much more so than me. Like much more so than me. And so when she came over from having her soda, she sat down and I looked at her and I said, I implore you. It says rendering, by the way, your video. Why would it be doing that? That's what Dark says. Oh, the screen's moving now. But she brings over the soda to the table, and I look at her and I say, I implore you, do not engage the child right next to us, because there was like a wall separating their table from our table. And this little girl kept standing up on her chair and looking over at us. And I thought, the minute she engages with this child, and she will, it's not working well over here. I don't know what they're talking about, honey. Is it my Wi-Fi or yours?
Can everybody hear us and see us okay? Let's see. If I'm showing live, I'm looking at the video feed. It looks like it's doing its normal delay action there.
Text Little Star 63 Monster is yelling at the top of her lungs. It's rendering. And Dark says, you're good now here, Andy.
Okay.
Good now.
Yeah, I was telling Granny just right before we went live, my internet was acting a little funky, but it seemed to be okay. But we'll see what happens.
So, yeah.
I might get into a good story and it'd be like skipping along after it's so.
But oh, and also I live with Nanoka the North that I mentioned. Yeah. Yeah, me and Texas Little Star 63 Monster always have to have an engagement with the other roommate with the pleading of maybe turn the heat on. So that's why you see me. I am in Texas. I promise you, you have my word on it that I am in fact in Texas. When I go outside. Inside the house, it's more like Alaska, but
So you were talking about CC's Pizza. I tell you what, we used to have one here close to the house. We still got one or two that are a little bit further away, but they've got some awesome wings.
yes,
pretty good too.
Yeah, and they have this policy. It's very strange. You can ask for the most bizarre something on your pizza, and they'll make it and put it up on the buffet.
Wow.
Yeah, they're known for it. Like if you're like, I want pineapple and anchovies with Alfredo sauce because I admit that I drank a bottle of wine before I came in here, but sounds pretty good.
Oh man. Hey Helga, how you doing?
Hi Helga.
Are we transmitting okay out there? Is everything sounding okay, guys?
Oh, and one of the things that you said you didn't mind if somebody talks about their channel. I can tell you that a lot of my videos, a lot of people don't quite understand, and I'm okay with that. But if anybody wants to know, like I always put links in the description, or at least I try to, as to like what some of my video sources are. And Handy, have you ever heard of something called archive.org?
I don't think so.
Okay, this is a true story. So as I was first swimming the warm waters, if you will, of all of the people that are doing camping videos and outdoor cooking and stuff like that. So I'm thinking, well, at least if I want to contribute to that side of this community, I should know a little bit more about it, right? And so I go to archive.org a lot of times when I want to do a very quick research or reference, like what is this about? Okay. And I mistyped the word prepper. This is the dyslexia kicking in, and I typed in, and I didn't even think about it, the word pepper.
Right.
Can I just tell you that I know more about pepper now than probably I ever wanted? Because I'm like, I don't understand.
And that was archive.org?
Yeah.
.org, I'll
Like
write that
down. A lot of the stuff on my channel that's like classic TV and classic movies, and like when I find the really funky old TV adverts and stuff that I'll throw in different edits, it comes from archive.org. You have to kind of read and make sure that it's a file that you are able to use. But there was one in there, and I have to find a link to it and send it to you, and it's about camping fails.
Oh, okay.
And it was one of the funniest things ever. And since it was a community video, you're free to use it. And I thought, how funny would it be for Handy to slice some of these?
Is that where some of the movies and clips and stuff come from that you use?
I would say the bulk of.
Awesome. Yeah. Speaking of links and stuff, to whomever watches this after the fact that it's live, Granny's links in the description, and I'm sure everybody that's subbed to me is definitely knows who Granny is for sure. But if you happen to run upon this and you don't know, go check her out for sure, because she's an awesome person and really has some really cool content.
Yeah, Bluefin, it's archive.org. And even as a matter of fact, like let's say, heaven forbid, somebody's work is no longer available to you. And you know that can happen for a myriad of reasons on many forms of social media, YouTube included. If somebody loses their channel or loses their work or something like that, you can even run a search with archive.org called the Wayback Machine. And on the Wayback Machine, you can at least kind of get a glimpse of like the old thumbnails and what they may have done leading up to where you lost contact with them or whatnot. And that's pretty cool. It's called the Wayback Machine, and it's on archive.org too.
Cool. I love finding new stuff like that.
Oh, and every bit of it's free to use.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Dark Matter said he's going to sub you right now. That's awesome.
Who is this Dark Matter?
I appreciate everybody jumping in and catching us live like this. This is really cool. I really want to bring this back. I had a bunch of people when I first started this saying they'd like to be a part of it. So I'd like to invite anybody who definitely wants to be a part of the Coffee with the Camper. Definitely just leave a message or a comment in the comment section. Or
like, yes, I know somebody that would like to go on a date with Granny Monster.
Any subject matter you'd like to.
Yeah. Just putting that out now. Oh, I'm getting feeding.
Uh-oh.
I thought maybe I accidentally clicked on the speaker on the YouTube page. No, mine's muted.
Heck yeah. Well, Granny, let's talk a little bit about your channel if you don't mind. I actually wrote down a couple little notes to hit on a few little bullet points if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
Right before we went live, I was thinking of a few things that I think of when I think of Granny Monster, and I would like you to elaborate if you want to.
Sure, go ahead.
The name for one thing.
The one thing is the name. Is that what you said? Because you lost audio just for a couple of minutes there.
Yeah, Granny Monster. The YouTube channel name, Granny Monster.
Mm-hmm. How did it come about?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it's not like a ooh big reveal, because originally the name of my channel was my name, Tina Stom, and I was fine with that because why? It's my name, and that's what it was for the longest time. And then Pet Monster and Monster Chick started like saying that I was like their cyber grandma and some craziness like that. And I'm like, I can dig it, you know. And then it evolved then from Granny to Granny Monster. And then when this is back in the day, you had to get to a certain level of subscribers before you could change the channel name. And my tech skills at that time was so minimalistic. I was like, what? And it was actually Pet that went into my YouTube channel and changed my name to Granny Monster.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
Yeah, so where would you come up with that? That's kind of cool. A cool name, you know. I didn't know if it had like a dark meaning to, you know what I mean?
Well, I don't sit around and knit cobwebs, but you know, or anything like that. But I embraced the name. Actually, I was going to change it to Aunt Wacky, which is a Cockney expression for old lady. But when I was given the chance to change it to Granny Monster, I'm like, yeah, that works. I can do that. Yeah. And yeah, that was pretty much it. And actually, before I was ever on YouTube, I did stand-up comedy for a number of years. And one of the characters that I did was called Granny Cougar. Don't get any ideas. It was a character. Okay.
Right.
And there was a few very early videos that they're not there anymore because of the hack back in Christmas Eve of 2016. But some of the very early videos before I knew even that I could edit a video, there was some of them that just went live where I'd made the mistake of saying, yes, this is your ever faithful Granny Cougar. And then whomever it was that I roped in to hold the phone at the time said, you realize you said Granny Cougar. Oh, damn.
That's pretty cool. So you've done some stand-up. I remember you mentioned that before, in the past, but that's got to be pretty cool.
Yeah, I would love to go on stage doing stand-up about YouTube.
Yeah, that's a great subject matter in that for sure.
Yeah, I think there'd be enough people in the audience to relate to it. Like the ones that are like, yes, big business and big corporations are ruining small businesses as we know it. Make sure you come back next Thursday. I'll be doing my Dollar Tree haul. You know, so there are some points I think I could make that are legitimate. You know?
Heck yeah.
So what else do you have on your bulletin? Your bulletin.
Oh, my bullet notes. Bullet
Yeah.
notes. Another thing I think of when I think of. Am I still there? I'm breaking up a little bit.
I hear you good.
Oh, okay. There we go. Another thing I wrote down was the hashtag. Create not hate.
Great, not hate.
Yeah, I think that's another thing that kind of pops in my head when I think of Granny Monster. You know, it just kind of pops in there. You know, and I was wondering if you'd like to talk about that to anybody that don't know about that.
Why, certainly. Certainly. Dark also suggests that we talk about the purge. So, back in, let's go way on back. Hey, way on back. Woo! Okay. Back in 2015, Pet Monster and Monster Chick were very excited because they were about to do a video with someone known as Mr. Deep Web. Now, he did eventually go on to get a silver play button. That's not part of this story. And they were very excited because it was really the first time they'd been asked to do a collab, and certainly on a channel of that size. I was still recovering, very much recovering from the stroke, which is the reason I truly started my YouTube channel, to recover from a stroke. So I'm laying in a hospital bed. I'm very excited. I'm very happy about two of my online associates, friends, however you want to look at that, going to do this collab, and I was very anxious to see it. So I woke up and it was Pet Monster and Monster Chick being themselves, of course. And the comment section was one of the most vile, evil, cantankerous pieces of rubbish I had ever read. And I picked up my phone and I was just weeping. You know, if you don't have anything to say that's complimentary or constructive or whatever, why are you putting people through this? You know? And Pet was like, for real, why can't people just like create stuff and not hate stuff? And from there was already that pre-existing tag, to be fair. It was already out there. But then in his mind, you know, create not hate kind of came in to being. And then he told me about it, and I'm like, I'm down with that, because that makes sense. If I'm ticked off or I'm upset or deep in my emotions or even elated and happy and joyous and blissful, I can still take that and create it into something productive, as opposed to, and then did you hear what he said about she said, and then I ain't got no time for that, and by the way, you're a piece of shit. You know, I don't go in for any of that. Like no. Like,
yeah.
And so I would much prefer to think about people putting time into a construct, whether that's a live stream or a video. I would rather people think about putting something into a construct than, you know, just it takes so little to point out what's wrong with someone. You know what I mean? But it takes, I think, a creative mind to be able to embrace them and take them for what they are, even if you don't necessarily agree with them or you don't even necessarily like them. But you still embrace their flaws just as you embrace their goodness. And that's, I think, more of a challenge, to embrace a person's full picture. And that can be done either in shout outs, edits, songs, however you want to do it, in the comment section, in supporting a channel, as far as even subscribing. I think it takes a lot to be able to accept everyone for all they are than it is to tear someone down.
Absolutely.
And so that's kind of where I am on it. So there was a huge and in abundance group of channels that got behind the Pet Monster create not hate thing, and I was one of them. And I will be very, very honest with you. I was a new content creator. I mean, I'd been, yes, in theater and all factions of the entertainment business prior to being on YouTube. But to me, YouTube was still very new. So I didn't know what the bloody hell to talk about. So let's talk about this. And I'd made so many videos that I didn't even realize it, that I had more made for Create Not Hate than he did. And at that point, he asked me, hey, would you like to be an actual partner with Monster Chick and myself as far as Create Not Hate goes? And I'm like, well, yeah, you know. And so he picked it up from there, and he made this like little video announcement thing, and it was quite lovely. And I think since that time, that's kind of, it's almost like Granny Monster, Create Not Hate. If I was going to change my name, you know what I mean? It would probably just be that extension, because I'm so married to it. You know what I mean? I'm so committed to it.
That's one of the first things that I really remember when I first met you, and I can't remember the exact first time I'm sure it was in comments or something like that, but I remember there for when Hangouts was in its new, you know, it was new, and we was a bunch of us were on here talking early into the morning sometimes on here, and it was just a good time, you know. That's one of the things I remember as, you know, first thing meeting you and stuff like that, you know, is to Create Not Hate and all that.
Yeah.
And it's a great concept for sure, I do believe.
Yeah. Hi, Calvin. Drink
Calvin. Hello, Calvin. How are you?
Dark. Woo! So he wanted us to talk about the purge there, Mr. Camper.
Yeah, I'm always behind. I'm always the last one to get the memos and stuff. And I was kind of reading in between the lines the other day about a few things. And what is actually going on with that? I mean, I seen you done a premiere and was going over a few points of that, and I caught a little bit of that while I was playing some board games with my little one. Was it yesterday?
Yeah.
Yep. Sure. And I was watching some of that you did, and that was really, really interesting. YouTube's doing all kinds of crazy stuff here lately, aren't they?
Sure. Okay. Before we get into answering your question, I will, but I'm going to make a prediction. Woo! I'm making a prediction. I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a onslaught of glitches and glitch please and glitchity glitch and you know, stuff coming back and stuff getting righted and stuff getting fixed. And about the time it all gets straightened out, they'll change the rules and the algorithm, and here we go again, and the process starts anew.
Right.
Yeah, not that I measure anything by history, but that's what I've seen happen in the past. But as far as the purge itself goes, yesterday I lost 15 subscribers, and I woke up and I'd lost 18. Now some people have lost thousands.
Yes, that's what I've heard.
And then some other folks say, yeah, well, no, I went up 2 subscribers. It's like, oh, well, thank you. You know what I mean? So I don't understand the rhyme nor reason to it. I just know that I've got the blue bar alert on it. And so all I did was run a video giving my little pieces of fluff and sarcasm as I was narrating what the actual page read.
I'm looking on here on the chat, the side chat here in the Calvin Corner. Am I right by saying that you lost 774 and Dark Matter lost 1,082? Holy smokes. And Helga lost 17. I think I lost 10. If I just kind of glanced on there, and I think I've lost 10. It might have went up a little bit, but I haven't looked. Wow.
So yeah, I don't understand. Like, it's supposed to be based on bots. It's supposed to be based on like if channels have closed down. You know what I mean? Like let's say Handy Camper's like, that's it, I'm out, bounce, you know, and Handy Camper goes away, but Handy Camper's channel is still subscribed to Granny Monster. Purge comes along, well, there is no Handy Camper, so we'll take that from her. Okay. But I just have a hard time getting my head around somebody saying, well, you had 1,082. no longer open channels. This is the logistics of that. You know what I mean?
That's crazy. Yeah.
Got to be a glitch. That's why I say I think it's going to be glitch, straighten out. Rules change.
Are these channels maybe opened up by individuals just for like watching videos and never really commented or done anything, maybe, or just inactive or stuff like that? Is that the channels that went bye-bye or what?
And again, I wish I had the answer for that.
Yeah.
I have a hard time believing that I only had 18 dead subscribers. Because trust, I put a video out. I got 7,000 plus subscribers. I get 30 fewer views. I've got some dead subbies. Okay. Right. So I have a hard time believing that of the 7,000 and I get, 34, 41, if I'm lucky, higher than that numbers of views on videos. I'm having a hard time believing that of that 7K, there was only 18 that were dead subscribers. You feel me? Like I was ready to say, please let me do 1,000 subscriber congratulations video, please take them. It's really, really, really okay. But no, I only lost 18.
Wow. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I remember even
Hey, Lynn, how are you?
I remember even putting up on my Facebook long time ago, I welcome my 1,000 subscriber giveaway. And at that time I had like 5,000.
HRM weapons machinist.
Hi. Hi, Lynn.
Yeah, that's very interesting how they would just all of a sudden. I bet a bunch of people kind of mad right now, I guess.
And I can't say that I blame them for their being upset. You know what I mean? And I think I'm not necessarily upset so much as I am perplexed. There's a difference between being, angry and perplexed. Like I just said, I'm very perplexed over how it is I only lost 18. You know what I mean? I was sincerely ready to go, oh, look, graveyard. You know what I mean?
So waiting for the numbers just to go.
Yeah, it really was.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's just crazy right there.
If I have oatmeal at 7, and then I can tell you that I become a much more regular person by 8. Just putting that out there.
Oh man.
It's true. Coffee and oatmeal, then 7:30. You get old and there are little things in life that bring you joy. That's one of them. I told you I made no guarantees.
Yeah, have a little coffee with that too to get just a little added extra stimulant in there,
That's right. I have to ask. This is one of my curious. What is the most bizarre thing you've ever happened upon when you're traveling out in the woods?
Me personally?
Mm-hmm. No, the other guy behind you.
The most bizarre thing?
Yeah.
Bizarre. That's a tough one right there, Granny.
How about memorable?
Memorable. All of them are memorable. I love just being outdoors, but the most memorable memory I've had being outdoors is one that pops out, just come to me just now, and it's when I was younger. I was probably 8 or 9 years old, and I was camping with my dad. He has passed away now. He passed away in 2001, and we went camping a lot when I was younger, and as a kid. Even as I got older, you always think your dad, he's a tough guy. Your dad's tough. He was in Vietnam and stuff, and I always looked up at him being like a really tough guy. And me and my brother were camping, and we were out by the campfire, and all of a sudden my dad jumped up and was squealing, just like woo woo woo. I was like, what is going on? and he was like ripping his shirt off and stuff like that. And he's, what is that? What is it? And it was like a big old bug that was on the back of his shirt. And it was making this weird noise. It was like, and he was like, it was probably big as round as like the palm of your hand. You know, it's like a big black bug. I don't know what they're called, like a rhino bug or something, maybe, or something. I'm not sure, and that's probably one of the most memorable memories I have of being outdoors. It was just hilarious. He jumped up so fast, and shirt was off, and he was squealing, and woo, he didn't know what it was, you know. But me and my brother, we was just laughing so hard we didn't know what to do. He was over there stomping and slinging shirts around and everything, you know, and we was just laughing. We give him a hard time after that years and years later.
Well, the lady that raised me for my birthday one year gave me a pup tent when I was a kid. And, you know, I'm a big girl now, you know, taking my Flintstone vitamins and everything. So I decided I am going to, because out where I grew up was along the Muskingum River. And if you walk down from the house down this little driveway, then back and back was some wooded area. So I'm going to put my pup tent up there, and I am going to sleep outside tonight, right? And I had the tent, I had the pillow, I had my teddy bear. Come on, I was 9. And my sleeping bag. I think I was out there maybe a total of 11 minutes. And in kid time, that's like hours, you know. And so I was out there for maybe like about 11 minutes, and I was never so scared in my flippin' life because everything had sound.
Yep.
And I wasn't used to that. You know, you're in the house, you lay down, you're quiet, you're out, you know. And I heard, you know, and I heard stuff splashing in the water because as I said, we lived, you know, along the river. I heard things splashing in the water. I'm here, you know, and in a 9-year-old's head, that's an alligator. And, you know, and so the tent collapsed because I didn't know what I was doing when I put it up anyway. The tent collapsed because I was thrashing all around because the noise was freaking me out. So I had to find my way out of the tent, crawl out of that, and run up the hill and back into my room. And my mom said, so I kept the receipt for the tent. That's
man, dude. The outdoors at night, if you're not used to it, I tell you what, it's you can't sleep for sure until you get used to it. The tree frogs and all the noises and everything like that is just, it wakes up at night. It really does.
Kept me awake. Oh yeah.
I tell you, I know one more memorable thing that really another one pops in my head is I went out west with my father, and when I was probably about between 13, 14 or so, and we went all the way. Well, we went to New Mexico and Arizona, and we went all out west, you know. And we were staying at the Grand Canyon. We had a campground at the Grand Canyon, and seeing that for the first time, our campsite was just right off the edge of the Grand Canyon. There was no barriers or fences or anything like that. So I mean, you could just walk and just jump off the edge if you wanted to, or fall or whatever. But just seeing that, just being in awe of the Grand Canyon that's amazing. Seeing that in person.
I've seen it.
It's
I've been to every state with the exception of Alaska and Hawaii, and I've also been to Amsterdam and London. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a good time. But when I saw the Grand Canyon, I turned into like a 4-year-old. I just started crying, and I didn't understand why. And I still to this day don't know why I was moved to that level of emotion, but it was just so massive. And
yeah,
I was 23 at the time. Okay. But it was just so massive and so beautiful. I was just compelled by emotion.
You know, seeing it on TV or pictures or something, it really doesn't do it justice to being there in person. You know, it really doesn't.
Not even close. And
we went all the way here from North Carolina. We drove from North Carolina, went all the way to Yellowstone and back, and that was a real good time. I'll never forget that. You know.
Yeah, Yellowstone is Yellowstone, people think when they think of Yellowstone National Park, immediately they default to, of course, Old Faithful.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so much more going on in that park.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love the hot springs. They just like the bubble, 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 just beautiful.
They smell nice too.
Yeah. Well, kind of.
The sulfur pools and all that stuff, you know, and the.
Look at the name. I kind of dig the smell of sulfur.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool. Seeing those animals up close and, you know, without any fences and stuff like that. That's amazing to walk out. We walked out our camper one morning. My dad opened the camper door and he closed it and said, I guess we might just sit here for a little while. And we was like, wow, you know, we kind of looked out the window and there was a buffalo, you know, standing right out behind the camper, you know. So it was just, that was wild.
Mm-hmm. Booze helps you sleep outside at night. Safety tip.
Booze.
Okay.
It'll make you pee a lot though.
I don't need no help.
So it's kind of like does it really help?
Yeah. So
especially when you're in a hammock. It's not good in a hammock. It's not good to drink camping in a hammock because when you're, especially when it's cold and you're all bundled up and really good, and then you got to go, unless you carry a bottle with you, you know, to keep in there. But
show me the way to go home, go home. Yeah. I've actually been fortunate enough to see the Great Lakes and the oceans, east, west, you know, south. There's a humongous difference between the shorelines of like out east, like New Hampshire, Maine, that area. Much different than the coastal waters of Florida and California. I think the New England area is much, much prettier, but much more difficult to maneuver. You know what I mean? It's like you have to be part mountain goat, part rock climber, part swimmer. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But when I was there, it was one of, and again, when you're talking about being compelled toward emotion and being real up in your feelings and everything, seeing the northern lights on the New England area's waters is another thing that's life-changing if you ever
wow. I've always wanted to see that, and also like in Alaska, you know, the lights and stuff. That I always thought that'd be really cool, you know, around that area.
Well, it just so happened that a lot of my travels doing comedy and radio and sundries that we shall not go into because we want to leave this live stream up, allowed me to just happen upon a lot of the right times of stuff going on. You know what I mean? Like if it hadn't been that I had business already in those areas, I may not have seen the Northern Lights. It was sort of like, oh, and by the way, while you're here.
Yeah.
I mean, so I realized that it takes a lot to do that as far as like just as an individual, you know, just to travel for pleasure and stuff like that. I was very fortunate in that I was already doing it for business anyway. So if you do have that blessing of being a person that travels, do your business, stop and ask locals what unique thing is happening. And that's what I started doing. That's how I ended up being able to see like Yellowstone and the Northern Lights and the Grand Canyon, because it was just a slight veer off from where I already was.
Oh yeah. I really enjoyed New Mexico. That's somewhere I'd like to go back to sometime. Around that area.
Granny, have you ever been to the corner? I wouldn't half mind a time out.
That's another thing that was on my bullet notes, Granny. You're very fast and witty, and I've always loved that about you. You're just like, you're on the point every time, and you've made me laugh so much. I tell you what. You're fast. You're right there on it.
Thank goodness for that like 15-second delay on a live stream, so that if I go too off the rails, you'll be like, click.
What did she say?
I don't know, but we ain't having it. Click.
That is so awesome. Visette. I've heard of Visette, but
I think she means visit. But brush up on your Espanol.
Habla Espanol. Visette is a very nice place to go.
Yeah. But
That's what I yelled.
yeah, I think your next interview ought to be with Tex Little Star 63 Monster, because she's back in her room watching this and keeps yelling like a peanut gallery.
Heck
Step
yeah.
out the screen while we're done. Like,
Try and
girl.
scream. What's going on? How are you doing? Yeah, Granny, you're so fun. I really love talking to you all the time. I tell you.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know about fast-witted. I just have a very weird brain and very little filter, unfortunately, except on myself. So that's why.
Oh man. Hey, Granny, that's you hit a few things there on my little bullet notes that I wanted to talk to you about. And another thing was the stroke. If you wanted to talk about that, I know you mentioned that, and that was one of the things I had on my little notes here.
I'm not one that likes Jay Giles. Stroke me, stroke me. It has different meaning for me. Different altogether. What happened was right around September of 2015, I had my second stroke. I've actually had two.
Oh, wow.
And what happened was I was at the top of a flight of basement steps. And I had a grand mal seizure, which then turned into a stroke. I was the only one there at the time, and my roommate was a hearing impaired lady. So upon the stroke, then I collapsed and I rolled down 17 concrete steps, which cracked my head open.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm bleeding out on the basement floor and unconscious. She comes home from work and she doesn't see me there. She thinks I'm out and about. And it's not till her daughter, who is hearing, comes into the house, looks for me, notices my purse, my keys, my everything is there, where she is. And so she goes downstairs and she sees me laying at the bottom of the steps. Cut to 17 days later, I come around to, where am I? And I was in a nursing home. And then it was explained to me what had happened, that they had to do emergency back surgery on me. They had to do emergency surgery to stitch up my broken ass head. Okay. And so when I came around then to actual, cognizant living again, it was explained to me what happened. And my hand wasn't working. And even if I'm greatly stressed out, there's a tell, because when I smile, this part kind of doesn't wanna, right here. And so I went through a lot of physical therapy, a lot of stuff. And during the course of that, one of the things that they asked me was, what do you miss doing? And I said, stand-up comedy and writing. And they said, well, why don't you start a YouTube channel? And I'm like, I'm no Planet Dolan. What are you talking about? I don't have a YouTube channel. They said, do you have an email address? I said, well, yeah. And they said, then you have a YouTube channel. And I'm like, I do? So apparently I did. And so one of the nurses there, she was very, very sweet. She was darling, and she would come in and she would like hold that phone this way, you know, and do this. And she was very much more up on all that stuff than I. And so yeah, a lot of my very first videos prior to the 2016 hack on Christmas Eve. Prior to that, there was like the very first, I would say maybe 20 or 30 videos of me, you know, like I have drool coming out of my mouth and I'm like, yeah. So anyway, it's 3:23 if we get it out of here, you know. And so in a way, I'm kind of glad, you know, I'm kind of glad that's not as prevalently available as it once was. You know, due to the way the platform has become, you know, because I'm much better now than I was then, you know, knock wood. But the way YouTube, some folks are, I can see them going back into that very old existing library and say, have you seen this? You know, no, I don't. I don't need that becoming the meme of feature. You know what I mean? No, I'm good. But yeah, that's how the channel actually came into being, was just because I'm a slice of ham on rye. I like an audience and didn't have one. So that
is really cool. Well, the stroke wasn't cool. I remember you mentioned the stroke, but I didn't know that's what kind of made the channel come about and everything.
Yeah. I mean, well, I think from most things, entertaining is born of pathos. You know what I mean? like if you're on a pair of roller skates and you roller skate very well, no story. Roller skate and you suck and you fall and you crack your bottom, that's hilarious. That's, you know, right. That's pathos. So I think a lot of things that start out that could be looked at as, oh no, ends up being for the better. So actually I kind of dig doing what I enjoy doing, and I don't have to figure out how I'm getting there. You know what I mean? I don't have to think, well, I'm in Maine now and I'm going to be in Ossipee, New Hampshire, and from Ossipee, then Boston, and then from Boston to Clearwater, and then from, you know what I mean? This is a whole lot nicer. It just is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So just hinges on how you want to perceive it and look at it, you know. Do I really want to go there, or can they come here? They can come here, and that way they can come later, you know.
Right. Save a lot of money on gas that way, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, save the planet.
That's great. That is great. Holy crap. It's been we've been on here almost an hour here, Granny. That is awesome.
Time flies when you're having fun. Too bad we weren't. That's why it felt like forever. I'm kidding. I'm absolutely kidding. I was just tickled that you asked me.
I'm glad you came along to my awkward beginning live stream there.
Awkward.
I gotta get that planned out a little bit better with my cues and my buttons and stuff. Maybe we'll figure that out somehow or another. But
don't sweat the small stuff. It's all small stuff, you know. But no, I thought, really, Handi Kemper, like the sexy guitar hero that swings in a hammock. Once me? Okay, sure. Scrape at the bottom of the gene pool, but why not?
Listen at you. Yeah, I think Dark Matter, me and him, when we done coffee with the camper with Dark Matter, we pre-recorded it. And we done it was like over an hour. He can refresh my memory. It was over an hour. And I recorded something with audio wrong or something. I asked him if he could do it again. And there was some good stuff in there too, but it was, oh man.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Oh, and I will explain. I had to explain this earlier on my own live stream when I was promoting this year Handi Camper one. Lynn asked me, is there a spec on your camera? Okay. See, what had happened was, I am very, very stupid, and I admit that I'm foolish. And so I was like joking around, and I was playing with the cat with the laser pointer. You know how they go out their mind for one. And so I'm joking around as I'm live streaming and playing with the cat, and I shined it toward my camera, and dark matter was in that chat. Goes, yeah, don't do that. And so what has happened then is this kind of thing. And it travels around, and I always have to look to find out where that black dot is now. Like, Handy, why you popped me in my eye, Handy? I wasn't being mouthy, Handy. Look what you did to me. You know, I have to find where the black dot is because it moves around for some reason.
That's funny.
It's not a speck. It's not a ghost. It's not a spectral visit. It's me being stupid with a laser pointer. Is what that is.
Follow the bouncing shadow.
Yeah, it doesn't bounce anywhere.
Oh man. Well, like I said, Granny, I appreciate you doing this with me for sure. Getting up here and having a good time when we're here for a little bit.
Sure.
But this is definitely going into the. I'll put this on the. On my videos, it'll go up on the channel on the rest of them there. Maybe we'll get some more people up here and do some more coffee with the camper as we go on here.
I hope that you do, because this was a lot of fun, and I'm always just slightly nervous when someone says they want to do an interview with me, because I'm like, really? I'm kind of boring. What are you talking about? You know?
Well, we get that little tidbit that we didn't know, you know what I mean? Just that little bit that we could pull a little bit more out of there that we didn't know, you know? That's kind of cool, you know? I mean, there's a lot of everybody that we don't know, and getting that little bit of extra out there, it's kind of cool, you know?
Sure. But I am going to go and finish my banana bread that I was munching on when you're like, we gonna do this. I'm like, sure.
Definitely. And I appreciate everybody in the chat coming out for the live stream, and I hope everybody checks out Granny's link after the fact, that catches it later on. So, yeah.
All right, cool. Thanks so much, Handy.
Thank you, Granny. I appreciate it. And guys, remember, always plan, prepare, and practice. Granny, you want to say anything before we stop broadcast?
Don't forget to leave a like.
Bye, everybody.